I went to North Korea, got off the head of Kim Jong-un or Kim Il-sung. North Korean children, hey, 미국 yeah. Check out the train station and there were 안녕하세요. 저는 네덜란드에서 온 바트라고 합니다. 반갑습니다. Korea means my second home. This is the second country in the world where I feel most comfortably living and spending my life. Because I have my job here, I have my house here, I have my wife here. Actually, I have everything here. So besides from the fact that I wasn't born here, Korea is my second home. That's true. In 2018, it was in December, I went to North Korea and I spent 7 days there together with my father. There are many reasons. First of all, I'm very interested in conflicts. I studied human geography back in the Netherlands. I did a master's. And one of the countries that we talked a lot about in class was North Korea, South Korea. So that time I've been living in Korea, South Korea for already 2 years and I was so curious about North Korea. So that was one of the reasons. And second, I was watching another YouTuber and he was also on a trip to North Korea for vlogging. And he was interacting with North Korean children. And at some point, those North Korean children were screaming at him. And they said, hey, 미국 yeah. And he thought, because he was talking to the camera later, he said to his audience that, hey, I had a fun interaction with North Korean children. I was like, no, that was not so fun. Saying something bad to you. And I imagined myself being in North Korea with the little Korean that I knew, that I could probably have a more sincere or more understandable interaction with the North Koreans. So that was actually the second reason. So this is a Beijing train station. From here we take a train to Dandong, and from Dandong we take a train to Pyongyang. And there you have to pick up your North Korean passport and you have to give your passport away also. You're not allowed to bring pornography, the Bible, like any religious material. Pornography, they specifically said pornography. Books about philosophy, ideology, it's not allowed. And then also when you take a picture of the leaders, make sure their whole body is in frame. Don't cut off the head of Kim Jong-un or Kim Il-sung or Kim Jong-il. Always talk respectfully about them. Don't photograph the military, but everyone is military. Like all the men you see just wear the green outfit uniform. So now I had to take a train to Dandong, which is a city near the North Korean border. And there we transferred to another train bringing us to Pyongyang. So there were already North Koreans in this train. You could hear the North Korean Joseon. There was nothing special about them. If you don't recognize the Korean, then nobody knows they are North Korean. But they all wear the badge. I think it was a North Korean flag or maybe the face of one of the leaders. So that's how you can recognize them. And the fashion. That was a thing. They like the fur. Joseon, it's always 높임말, 입니까, 안녕하십니까. It's not like 안녕하세요. They don't use the yo ending. 뭐뭐합니다 with everything. Even when you talk from like friend to friend, it's still a bit formal. There was 머리 비누, shampoo. 머리 비누. Sometimes for coffee, they use 흑자. So here we arrived, Dandong. It was extremely cold. You see how there's a big square, big buildings. We had to wait a long time for our passport, so I decided to walk around. A lot of Korean, Hangul, written everywhere, because I think there's a big North Korean community in Dandong. Restaurants, doing business, they just crossed the bridge. Later you can see me walking to the river. It was so shocking to me to be able to see North Korea. You can just literally swim to it and you're there. But in South Korea there's the DMZ, right? So there's kilometers of military in between. So that bridge was destroyed during the Korean War by the Americans. It's still there and the Chinese tourists can look into North Korea. And we go into North Korea by train. That was surreal. And look at the differences. China, high buildings, apartment blocks, and North Korea, nothing. You're going back in time travel. You see the green little house? So that's a guard tower. Yeah, apparently there's a soldier in it for border control. The swimming pool is like full. There's nothing in the swimming pool, as you can see. It looks like everything is just there for show. Shinoriju train station. There you have the leaders, the bronze statues. First thing you see. Yeah, this is where they checked our passports and they checked our cameras and our bags. But it wasn't like every single paper. No, they just looked at your bag. It's like, okay, it's fine. They didn't check my SIM cards. They didn't check my phone. But it was a bit scary though. This is the moment you can ruin it, you can screw it, and they can arrest you. We had some time to check out the train station, and they put those North Korean women, really pretty, probably the most beautiful women they had there, behind the shopping car. And they sell like North Korean products. So that's why I bought the beer, Daedonggang. It's very fresh. I think it's quite similar with Kas, maybe. Now we go into North Korea. It's very impressive what you see. All the art, how they praise the leaders everywhere. When you go through the countryside, you see that a lot of Hangul is written everywhere, but mostly it's something positive or something nice about the country or the leaders. Oh yeah, the train, that was weird because the doors were locked. So we were not allowed to get out of our own compartment, train compartment. But later they suddenly were opened. So here are all North Koreans in the train. Here, kopperamen on the left side, shinramen. And here they were sitting, drinking makgeolli, beer, have some banchan, but they were not super welcoming. It's not like, hey, join us. Just chit-chat and then move on. I'm not sure, is it Hanok? Hanok style buildings, huh? Probably South Korea would have looked the same, right? 40 years ago, 50 years ago. There's still places like this. The propaganda, everywhere, everywhere. This, you see the building? No windows, people still live. When it's night in North Korea, it's just pitch black, you don't see anything. There's hardly any electricity except for Pyongyang. No, I'm really not. I mean, it's quite shaky, color grading sucks. It could have been so much better. You know, when you're so passionate and so interested in something, then you just follow what you think is interesting. You spend all day just with your camera. In terms of getting a visa, it was quite easy. You just book your ticket with the travel agency and they arrange everything for you. I was actually worried that because I was living in South Korea, okay, it might be difficult for me because they see the South Korean visa stamp in my passport. But that wasn't a problem at all. So if they have a South Korean passport, also another passport, that then get travel with that other passport to North Korea, and that wasn't any problem. It's just a bit weird that you're living in Seoul, so technically you can go to North Korea in a few hours, right? But I had to go through China, Beijing, take a very slow train to Dandong, and from there take another train to Pyongyang. And altogether was like one day of traveling. I think it would have been a problem because I made all those videos on my YouTube channel, and here and there I've been criticizing the regime, the system in North Korea, also on South Korean television. It might be a problem to go again. I'm not sure, nobody can guarantee my safety, so I have to think really well. Do I want to go again or not? I expected them to be more stricter, to tell us that it's not allowed to film and you're not allowed to take pictures and you should walk in one line. But within the certain boundaries, there was also certain freedom that I wasn't expecting. Like I could pretty much film everything, as you can see in my videos. Well, first of all, you're not really in contact with the people. So whoever you are in contact with are the guides or people very close to the government, loyal to the government. You cannot really consider them as the common people in North Korea. They only show you what they want you to see. So to say whether it was peaceful, I don't think so. It felt a bit eerie, a bit creepy. You're in this bubble just walking through North Korea, and the North Koreans are not getting in your bubble and you're not getting out of the bubble. That's how it felt. 사랑에 불시착 보고 넘어온 사람 보고 느끼는 거지만 역시 드라마는 드라마일 뿐이다. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we don't know what's going on in North Korea, so we can make dramas, but it's all fictional, right? So they do actually watch drama in North Korea, South Korean dramas, on the black market. 사랑의 불시착 보다 보니 호텔에 왠지 노중장지 있을 것 같고 막 그럼. Yeah, I feel the same in South Korean hotel. Yeah, no joke. But yeah, probably they're listening. Yeah, but I was with my father and I speak Dutch, so I wasn't really too worried about it. Yeah, I mean, it's from the Korean perspective, right? The country split in half, families are split in half. It's just a very sad story, and peace was never signed, but technically you're still at war. Yeah, it's sad. 한국말 하는 외국인이라 사람들이 또 신기해하고 좋아해 줬을 듯. I think they were amazed by the opportunity for an interaction with a foreigner, because when it's only English, then there's still a barrier for them. But if you speak some Korean, then you break the ice. It makes it easier. So today I talked about my experience in North Korea and how I felt, what I've seen, how it compares with South Korea. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to know more, check out my channel. Thank you for watching.